Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review comes from Argentina, a country that I haven't covered too many films from Argentina. It's from 2018, and it's Murder Me Monster, a film by Alejandro Fidel. This is one of two recent releases from Anti-Worlds. The kind of stepchild who's kept in the attic of Powerhouse Indicator. This is spine number -13, as they do minus numbers for Anti-Worlds. And Earwig, which I haven't watched yet, which does come with this rather nice slipcover. This is -12 from Anti-Worlds. Now, I was Anti-Worlds complete, but I got rid of a few of them because a few of them I wasn't really that big a fan of. They're kind of an odd label in the sense that they don't have regular releases. They've maybe been around for maybe a year less than Indicator, but they only have 13 titles. You know, they don't release them every month, they don't release them every 3 months. They're fairly sporadic in their releases, but these two kind of caught my attention. So I thought I would order them. I've done a few videos in Anti-Worlds releases, including my favourite Anti-Worlds title, Dogs Don't Wear Pants. This is from 2019 from Finland, and this is just an absolute joy. About sadomasochism and grief. It's an absolutely wonderful film. I would highly recommend that. I guess Anti-Worlds are a bit like some of Vinegar Syndrome's sister labels, like Deck Analog. There's Air Doll from Deck Analog, or Keep an Eye Out, which again I did a random review of. So they're kind of lesser known, I guess, modern films from various countries. Well, let's talk about Murder Me Monster. Is this a film that completely works? Perhaps not. It does suffer a little bit from the modern cinema problem of being a little too long. 109 minutes. The extras are good, as you'd expect Anti-Worlds being sort of related to Indicator. It is fully uncut by the BBFC. It is an 18. There's 8 deleted scenes. There's the Enigmatic Element, which is a 40-minute film by the same director, which kind of exists in the same universe as Murder Me Monster. There's a trailer, unseen scenes, animated bonus scenes, there's a director's commentary. You do get, just with as with Indicator, you do get nice booklets and alternate artwork, which I'm not going to show you because it perhaps gives a little bit too much away. And there's actually a barcode you could scan to make something from the film in your 3D printer at home, if you have a 3D printer at home. And very much like Indicator, it's limited to 3,000 copies. So the film itself is a police procedural, kind of, set in the beautiful Argentinian countryside. It does have something in common with Twin Peaks in the sense of you get lots of scenes of the geography, you get lots of scenes of specific 3 mountains that look like 3 M's, as in Murder Me Monster. So nature and the geography of the space certainly has a lot to do with the film. So we first open on the first crime, which is shot really beautifully. The film does look really good, especially in some later scenes that I'll get to. And we see a herd of sheep, some with blood in their face. We see a woman who kneels down in front of us, and her throat has been slit and her head's a bit loose. So we then join the investigation by the police force, as her head seems to have been removed, and they assume it's her husband that killed her, because that's always looked to the nearest and dearest. That's the first rule of murder. The police force is a little odd, perhaps, led by the captain, who gives everybody like tramadol and antidepressants, and he's in antidepressants because policing can be so depressing and boring. And then you have the main character of the kind of investigating officer, who's having an affair with the wife of somebody who is a little mentally disturbed, and he's on medication of his own. In some ways it's a film about medication. And then this woman turns up decapitated as well. This police officer gets through life by doing special dances and by doing beautiful artwork inside his rules of policing notebook. The film is fairly ponderous and deliberate, which again might annoy some people, and you do kind of feel that perhaps they're going for that ponderousness leads to profundity, and whether this lands with you or not is obviously up to the individual viewer. It's a film that I liked a lot. There's a lot to like in it, but I didn't necessarily love, but it's certainly an interesting film worth checking out, I think. And then as the film develops, different theories of what's causing these deaths as the bodies mount, and it gets to the stage that the police are out chasing a suspect and end up out in the countryside. And again, those mountains are always present and overlooking the action. And Fidel does a really good job with long shots and then mediums, which kind of hold for longer than normal before he comes in on impactful close-ups. But again, those long shots, not in time as far as distance, really make you feel that something is watching the action happening. And again, it's this idea of it's the geography, something in the geography, perhaps the mountains themselves, but what is actually doing this killing, which I'm obviously not going to reveal here. And the scenes at night when they're out, I don't know whether it counts as the Pampas, but wonderful flare, scenes with flares, the lights, not the trousers, which are beautifully lit, as this kind of elemental, pervasive feeling of dread and kind of not knowing what's actually causing these deaths. Is it people with voices in their heads making them do it, or again is it something more sinister that has been with us for centuries. It's a really interesting little film. It has wonderful moments that I'm not going to go into, because I don't really want to spoil anything. Again, these are available on Anti-World's website. I think they're about £15. I suppose you could wait. Every now and again Anti-Worlds do a random sale, because again I don't believe any of their titles have sold out, because they are fairly niche. I would be surprised if anybody loves every single Anti-Worlds release, but there are some gems in there. I mean, it's obviously Patrick, which I did a random review on, about the man who runs a nudist colony with his parents, who loses his favourite hammer. I'm not making this up, by the way. That's really good. And obviously Dogs Don't Wear Pants is absolutely sensational. They've got a couple of really good documentaries, Best Before Death, and the Penny Slinger story. So they've got some really interesting titles, and some other titles that I didn't really appreciate that much. But certainly Murder Me Monster is an interesting film if you like kind of dark and creepy goings on and people losing their heads. There's 3 characters on motorcycles that feature every now and again in the film, who are actually in the enigmatic element, the 40-minute film that may kind of be a sequel to this. So they may not actually be people on motorbikes. Again, that film is about the atmosphere and the world building. It's not as engaging, it's more experimental as Murder Me Monster, but it's worth a look. And as I said, it is on the extras, and as I say, there's like 8 deleted scenes. So that's Murder Me Monster, all the way from Argentina. Please let me know if you've seen it and what you think of it, or what's your favourite Anti-Worlds title. And hopefully you'll join me again for more random reviews. Who knows, I might do a random review of Earwig, but I haven't watched it yet. Thanks very much for watching. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.